Go through these 7 fundamentals with you. I think you'll find it very interesting. The first fundamental is a constant plan for setting, rearranging, evaluating. Setting goals is a very important part of our life's process. It's a basic fundamental. In fact, if you will work hard on setting goals, put together a plan for setting goals, reevaluate them, rearrange them, constantly talk about them, go over them again and again, I tell you what this process will do, in my personal opinion. It'll put you in what's known as the top 5%. And if you want to be successful, if you want your life to really change in major ways, this is one of the fundamentals. Guess how many people have a constant plan for setting, rearranging, evaluating, and strengthening the purpose of their goals? The answer is very few. In fact, if you will do this, you will become among the few who do, that become the envy of all who watch. So that's number 1 fundamental for success. Get together with your family, your wife, your husband, your children, your business colleagues, and make it one of the major fundamentals in your life. Constantly setting, rearranging, evaluating, and strengthening the purpose of your goals. That's number 1 fundamental for success. Here's number 2. The fundamental is a clear picture of what you intend to do with your present resources. That's a fundamental. Figuring out a plan of what to do and how to manage your present resources. Most everyone I talk to has already got something. The big question is, what are you doing with it? Most everyone has some time, they have some resources, they have some money, or they have a paycheck, or they have some kind of resources, or they have some kind of net worth. The big question is, what are you doing with it? Where are you investing it? Where are you putting it? There's a little simple talk I'm giving now, and it's especially designed for the kids, called The Care and Feeding of the Goose That Lays the Golden Eggs. First of all, you've got to understand about society and about money. You've got to understand how to earn it, where to get it, where it comes from, and the importance of managing it. Kids ought to be taught from the time they're just small what to do with $1. If a child has $1 and goes and spends it, right away they've developed the wrong habits. And sure enough, if they continue those poor management habits over the first $1, you can imagine they're probably going to do the same poor things with those same dollars when they get older. The plans we learn when we're small, sure enough, are most often the plans we follow the rest of our lives. What to do with your money and where to put it. We teach in The Care and Feeding of the Goose That Lays the Golden Eggs. You've got to be a happy taxpayer. You've got to make sure some of your money goes into financial institutions so that successful people can borrow it and start other businesses that employ more people. You've got to make sure that you give some of your money for charity. So for charity and for taxes and for savings and for the accumulation of capital, it's very important to have a management plan for your present resources so that at age 65, you don't wind up like most people do, broke. You wind up with substance, you wind up with plenty to share, you wind up with plenty to enjoy. So that's the second fundamental for success.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Nuts and Bolts. My name is Kalpesh Patel, and as always, I'm super excited to share the next 30, 40 minutes with you, some of my experiences in this beautiful industry called network marketing. And what I love about what we just heard there from one of my greatest mentors, Jim Rohn, was, he was talking about the steps of success and how to get in the top 5%. And he starts off with goals. I love that, but not just any goals. Goals that are meaningful and something that you work on every day, something that is consistently on your radar. So again, you've heard me say this many, many times, that the difference between people that get things done and people that are kind of struggling to get things done is the reason why. Like, why should you get something done? Because the science is simple of network marketing. It's not rocket science. I always say that it is a science, and it's a really simple science. You pick up the phone and you invite people to look at great information. That's it. If you're a fantastic presenter, you pick up the phone and you present the information. If you're not, then you point them to somebody who can present the information for you on your behalf. It doesn't get more simple than that. These are the basic foundation building blocks of building a team, building an organization, leading many people. So why is it that some people just get on with it and most people don't? I think everyone can agree that the actual physical act is not difficult. Is that fair enough? The physical act of picking up the phone and saying, hey, Dr. Vinod, listen, I hope you're well. I've come across some information and I want to share it with you. When can we grab half an hour? Not rocket science. And yet most people don't do it. Most people. Isn't that insane? Like, somebody shared a great opportunity with you. You loved it. You said yes, and you came in. And you're benefiting from being part of the opportunity. And then you freeze when it comes to doing exactly the same thing that you already loved because somebody did it with you. Mind-boggling, isn't it? So it's fascinating to see how people that get in then don't do the very thing that works to get people in. And that is, their reasons are smaller than their excuses. Their reasons are smaller than their fears. Their reasons for getting it done are smaller than the obstacles, their mental obstacles that stop them from doing it. So how do we flip that? Really simple. You increase your reasons to do it so they become bigger, not smaller than. Your reasons for doing the simple actions must be bigger than the obstacles, the fears, the blockages that stop you from doing it. Is that a bit too simplistic? Some of you might be thinking, it can't be that easy, Kalpesh. Guess what? It is. If your reason is big enough, if your desire is strong enough, if your why is one that means something to you, then all of those things that stop you fall away by default. Human beings are motivated very, very easily by avoiding pain and gaining pleasure. Once you can learn to leverage these emotions to your advantage, you win. We naturally want to avoid pain and we naturally want to gain pleasure. If you can use the pain and pleasure motivators, then you start winning in life. Do the stuff that you love doing, avoid doing the stuff that you hate doing. Not that's the wrong context actually, because you hate making phone calls, don't you? But you get my point. Like, you got to find enough reasons to want to make the call than not make the call. Natural default is, what are people going to think? What if they judge me? What if they say no? Rejection, massive fear of human beings, fear of rejection, right? What if they, stop communicating with me or cut me out of their lives? Like, there's all these made up stories in their head that we create that stop us from making the call. The fact of the matter is, if you can make the call with some kind of professionalism, some finesse, some understanding, some background, some context, then all of those fears are nonsense. Why would anyone stop talking with you because you shared something that you're benefiting from and you think could benefit them? And they have free will. They get to choose. You're not going to twist their arm. You're not going to bend their ear. You're not going to force them into or cajole them into making a decision that they don't want to make. You never do that. You help them. You assist them in finding out what they really, really want. And if you can help them see the parallels between what they want and what we have, then that decision-making mechanism for them becomes easier. So you can influence the decision positively by putting them first and marrying the opportunity to what they want. But you don't need to force them. You don't need to be clever with your words and manipulate them and get them to do things that they don't want to do. When you get them to do what they want to do, but they might have their own fears that stop them from doing it, that's mastery. So I often say that, right? Who doesn't want 10% a month, for example? Who doesn't want financial freedom? Who doesn't? I don't believe there's a single human being that doesn't want those things, but there are millions of human beings that have a whole bunch of stuff in the way of them achieving that, because we have that, right? We have a vehicle that can give them exactly what they want, and they have a ton of fears and blocks and preconceived ideas, notions that get in the way of seeing the obvious, because it's obvious. You buy a product or a service from a company that produces a certain result that you want. The obvious decision at the end of a presentation has to be, I'm in. Wow, thank you. Of course, I want that. But that's not what the obvious decision ends up being. Why? Because whoever is sat in front of the information is not listening to the information that you're listening to. They are not seeing the information that you are seeing. It's a mistake that a lot of newbies make in network marketing. We think other people see things the way we see things and hear things the way we hear them and understand things the way that we understand them. They do not. They don't. Every human being on the planet has their own different filter. A professional networker's job is to get better and better at trying to understand what the other person's filters are and how we can lift them so they can better see what's in front of them and match it up to what they want. Can you see how this kind of all starts piecing together? You need to connect these dots. The presentation is not why they join. Because if that was the reason they joined, every human being you put the presentation in front of would join, right? Like I said, who doesn't want to win? There's not a single human being on the planet that doesn't want to win. I don't believe. I believe every human being wants to win. So if we can show them in a way that gets them to see how they can win, bang, they themselves come to the conclusion, wow, thank you. I'm in. Of course I want this. I've been praying for this. I've been dreaming about this ever since I was a young kid. It's been on my mind forever. Life has got to be easier than this. There's got to be a smarter way. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be something else. Guess what? There is. We just got to work a little bit more on sharpening our skills to help them see what it is versus what they think it is, what they've already decided it is, what they've learned from other experience that it is. So we're removing all of their obstacles for them. This is why I often say that the bulk of a yes is done not during the presentation, but before the presentation. The more you can get the yes primed before the presentation, the higher the probability of the yes happening during and at the end of a presentation. And also, even if it isn't a yes during or at the end of a presentation, the better the preparation work was before, then the easier, even after the presentation, to tie up the loose ends. If you can connect these dots, you get really powerful in this space. You can ask the question, Sammy, you said before the presentation that you were sick and tired of going around in circles for year after year after year, living in the same place, driving the same car, living the same life, and not seeing progress. Is that true? Remind them. Can you see? If you did the work before, you remind them. Yes, it's true. Great. Can you see how what I've shown you can help you break the pattern? Can you see how what I've shown you can help you to get to the place that you desire to be in faster? Yes, I can. Great. No, I can't. Okay. Tell me what you saw. Oh, I saw a pyramid scheme. Okay. What else did you see? Oh, I saw Ponzi. Okay. What else? Oh, yeah. I didn't like the color of the slides either. All right. What's in the way? What's in the way of you saying yes? I don't know. Had a really bad day today. I was distracted. I was watching television. Whatever it might be, get it out of them. What was in the way? And then again, link it back. All right, cool. I get it. I get you've had a tough day. I get that you've had some bad experiences in the past. Or I get that somebody has told you something about something that you don't know much about, but you think you know a lot about. Are you open to understanding things better so you can help, so that I can help you improve your life? That's why I'm here today. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to get you to do anything that you don't want to do. My commitment is to you and to help you get what you want. You said you wanted to improve X, Y, Z. You said you wanted to improve the quality of your life. Guess what? I'm here to show you how to do that. What do we need to do here to build that bridge? Can I share some facts with you? Did you know network marketing produces more wealth for more people every single day of the year than any other single vehicle on the planet? Really? Yeah, really. Did you know there are companies, individual companies, that pay out hundreds of millions of dollars in commissions every single month? month in, month out for decades to people that understand this concept. Really? Yeah, loads of them. Loads of them. Wow. Now you're opening their eyes. And then marry it to normal life. The more you can relate it to normal life as well, right? Because they're, again, step into their shoes. The number one question somebody's answering when you're presenting, can I do this? Because if everything on the presentation is true, which it is, the question that remains is, can I do this? If you knew without a shadow of fact that you could do what was presented to you, then why would you say no? Can you see? If you knew without a shadow of a fact that what was being presented to you was something you could do, why would anybody say no? So for me, the number one reason why people say no is because they don't know. They don't know it's possible for them. They don't know whether they can do it. They don't know. So if you can answer that question for them, and that's why it's so important to hold hands, right? Say, look, you're not on your own here. Suresh, you and I are going to work together so I can help you every step of the way. I'm going to help you on board. You've never bought crypto before? Don't worry about it. I'm going to help you to buy your first crypto. You don't know how to send from one wallet to another? Don't worry. I'll be right there by your side, online or offline, depending on location, etc. I'll be there right by your side, helping you do those transactions. You don't know how to pick up the phone and invite people to a presentation? Fear not. I'll be there at the beginning with you. Every call you make, give me the feedback that you got. I'll coach you, I'll mentor you, I'll work with you, I'll help you to understand where you're strong, where you can improve, how you can get better. If you're committed, I'm committed. You take one step, I'll take two. But you got to take the step. I've got to see you move. I've got to see that fire in your belly. I've got to see the desire in your eyes. I've got to see that hunger for winning. And if I see it, we'll work together. Every upline, every sponsor wants people that want to work with them. Can you see? It's magical. So once you get from your new person, once you get them to understand that it's a partnership, once they understand what teamwork is, don't forget, teamwork doesn't exist in the world. The world thrives on competition, unhealthy competition, not even healthy competition, right? As I often say, in any other environment, if you want to progress, somebody else has to lose. In any other environment, any other structure, if you like, somebody has to lose for somebody else to win. There are only so many positions at the top. There's only one CEO seat in any organization, any company. There's only one chair at the top of a religious organization. There's only one chair at the top of a charity. There's only one chair at the top of any infrastructure outside of network marketing. That's competition at its worst. You want the CEO to die if you're the next in line, or you want them to retire early. You want them to get sick. You want them to step down. You want them to get fired. If you're next in line, can you imagine? Like you cannot progress, however brilliant you are, until the person above gives way. Not in network marketing. In network marketing, you can outperform your sponsor, their sponsor, their sponsor, and their sponsor's sponsor, right the way through to the top of the organization. And you can get to the top of your own organization faster than anyone else above you, if that's what you want to do. It's the fairest system in the world. Educate your people to understand what's at stake here. They can be the CEO of their own empire, their own team, their own network, their own organization. You got to relate their brain to what they already know. When you can link what this is to what they know, it makes it easier for them to understand. If this is a foreign object they don't understand, they fear it. They resist it, they struggle with it, and they think, I can't do this. It's too complicated. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm no good at this. I'll just kick it along the road. I'll see how it goes. I'll play around with it. Let's hope something happens. That's the kind of mindset and output that you're going to get from your teammates. Let's hope this works out. we'll give it a go, poke it with a stick. What are the chances that somebody poking it with a stick is ever going to do anything spectacular? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Can you see that? That's why, again, the importance of these kind of get-togethers. Nuts and bolts for me is the gem that makes it all happen, because you can bring your teammates to these calls and leverage the learning, leverage the understanding, leverage what works, leverage what we know. And it's articulated third party. Can you see that? Because sometimes you can't get through to people that are too close to you. You'll say exactly the same things, but because it's you saying it and you're so close, familiarity breeds contempt. People take you for granted. It's a human default. You can come up with the best wisdom in the world, but because it's you, they won't hear it. What's the saying? You can never be a prophet in your own home. Doesn't matter how wise you are. To your loved ones, you're just you. So then you bring them to a third-party platform, a place where they can hear the same thing you want to say in a different voice, independently of you. And now they'll be like, oh, wow, Sharon, why didn't you tell me that? Sharon's like, I've been telling you that for weeks. What are you talking about? But they won't hear it because you're too close, right? Just like every parent knows. If you're a parent, then you know. Your kids did not listen to you for years, telling them the good stuff. And then Uncle John or Aunt Sally comes along, says exactly the same thing you've been saying for years, and your kids come running to you and go, oh my God, what great advice Aunt Sally just gave me. And you're sitting there going, because your kid's job is not to listen to you. You're too familiar. You've been there for every single day of their life. Their job is to take you for granted. That's the default. It's Aunt Sally or Uncle John's job to get through to them. That's how life works. Network marketing is no different. That's why three-way calls are so powerful. The power of three-way calls. You know, you can use three-way calls. Not a lot of people think three-way calls are just for closing the deal, for getting the Q&A done after a presentation to help people over the line. No, you can use three-way calls to invite people. We've done this tons of times. I used to run like boiler room style three-way call invitation sessions. Do them with your team. They are powerful. I just reminded myself years ago we used to do these. We'd get together in a huddle, whoever wanted to come along, 3, 4, 5 people in a room, 10 people in a room. We'd bring our list out, top 100 people would love to work within our business, and we make calls together. The energy in the room's through the roof. Everyone's pacing, walking around, moving about. I've even done it in big seminars. There's people on this Zoom that know, they've been there with me when I've done these. I've done huge seminars where people are making invitation calls together and passing the phone over to an absolute stranger in the room. That's not their upline, not their downline, but a complete stranger, like a third party, literally. Imagine you make a call, invite someone, say, listen, I've just seen something amazing. It's blown me away. I'm going to pass the phone to somebody that I'm working with here. They're just going to give you a quick overview, and then let's make time to meet up. And you pass the phone to a complete stranger in the room who's in the same business as you, and they give a quick bullet point overview, and the person on the phone will listen because it's not your voice. Of course, a bit of edification, you edify them, you edify the guests, but you can do a three-way invitation call and it works a treat. The chance of people showing up to a meeting, they work really well for live meetings because you need a lot more leverage to get people out of their comfort zone, get into a car or a train or some kind of transport and work their way to a hotel, a location elsewhere from where they live in another venue, a distant away. Takes a lot more leverage, right? The invitation has to be a lot more powerful than inviting them to a Zoom in the comfort of their own room. Invitations today are easier than they've ever been in the history of this industry. Back in the day, you had to get them out of their comfort zone and to show up somewhere, right? But I'm just saying that the power of three ways is very, very magical. And all it is the voice of somebody else. You might even think that the third party, the person you handed the phone to, did a much worse job than you would have, and it will still work better because the person on the receiving end doesn't know who you handed the phone to. And to them, if you've edified it correctly, the person you've handed the phone to is the expert. The third party is always the expert. It doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means that they're different from you. Just understand the dynamics. Know when to play what card, right? There are some people that you've got to be the one that invites them. If you hand the phone over to a stranger to invite them, it won't work with them. That's where you've got to understand the dynamics of your relationship with the person that you're inviting. What's going to work? What's not going to work? If you've invited them 3 times and they haven't shown up, it's time to let another voice land. But if you've got solid trust, rapport, relationship, and respect between each other, then chances are you can get them to show up. Great, if you can, do it. But just because you can't, don't write them off. Third party. Never write anyone off until they write themselves off. The only time I stop is when they tell me to stop. I will literally annoy people to the point of, Calps, can you stop? Can you just leave me alone? It's getting enough now. Oh, okay, sorry. I get it. All right, cool. No love lost. But that's how I see it. My commitment is to that point. Until they tell me not to invite them anymore, I'm going to keep inviting them. What's your commitment, right? How bad do you want to make a difference? How bad do you want to build a team? You've got to make those decisions up front and in advance, and then be willing to do what it takes, as they say. Do what it takes. And it doesn't take much. Courage, balls, guts, takes all of that, right? But you know what? You've got that. The beautiful thing is you've got all of that, because the rest of your life demonstrates that. If you're breathing and alive and you're here today, guess what? You've got courage, you've got balls, you've got guts. You can't get through life without those things. They are fundamentals. Whether you use them often enough or not is another thing, but you've got them. I always say that, right? All the skills you need to win here, you've already accumulated in the rest of your life. Rapport building, guess what? You've got people in your life that you've got great rapport with. You know how to build rapport. You might not have studied the patterns. You might not have associated it to yourself as, wow, I'm really good at maintaining relationships. I'm really good at building connection. I'm really good at building trust with people. But when you start looking, you'll see everywhere. I'm really good with my word. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm always there on time. I'm always the first one in. I'm always the one that organizes things. Whatever it might be, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you do really, really well already in the rest of your life. And all you've got to do is transfer those skills across to network marketing. So this is more of a skills transfer process than it is a skills learning process. Can you see that? Everyone knows how to invite. You've all invited people to your birthday parties and people have shown up. You know how to invite people so they show up. You've all invited people to a movie. You've all invited people for a dinner. You've all invited people over to your place to hang out, whatever it might be. 1,000,001 things. You know how to invite. You just haven't associated that that's a skill that you've mastered in many other areas of your life. And now you're about to master it here in this area of your life. That's all. So it's a transference of skills rather than learning a new skill. Some of you already present in your life, not all of you, but some of you do already present in your life. Maybe you present, food on the table that looks really amazing. Maybe you're really good at putting that together. Maybe you present at work in front of groups or people. Maybe you're already a team leader at work. There's a ton of skills that all of us have in different parts of our life that we can bring to the table here if we relate to ourselves as professional. I think that's the key. Professional. Don't do network marketing like an amateur, because then people in your team will also be amateurs and they'll treat you like an amateur and you'll never get momentum. Be the professional. Be the one that's outstanding. Be the one that's upstanding. Be the one that is consistent and solid and honorable, reliable. That's how you're going to build strength in your team, right? So, all of these little adjustments that you make is what will set the foundation for building your organization going forward. But coming back to the very beginning, just to round this up, the dream is where it all starts with, your dream. What is your outcome that you're looking for? What do you want? And it doesn't have to be this big, grand vision that you've read about in other people's social media or other people's biographies or, growing up, what everyone thinks the dream is. In the beginning, the dream could be to be debt-free. For me, that's like a really powerful, emotional personal home run for around probably 80% of the planet that's in debt. Be debt free. How about that as a qualifying question before you invite to a presentation? Can you see that? Lunga, I don't know about your situation, but most people I speak to are in debt. Do you know people that are in debt? Yeah. Well, listen, I'm looking to help people get out of debt. Can you put me in touch with any? Some might say, you know what about me? Why are you looking for other people? Help me get out of debt. Oh, okay, cool. Let's sit down. Let me show you. But that's an easy hook. Can you see that? Most people are in debt. 8, 9 out of 10 people that you speak to on an everyday basis struggle managing money. Moving it from here to there, juggling it around, trying to make it all connect in the right places. And most of the time, highly stressed and making a mess of it all. Help them iron that out. Something I learned years ago blew me away. And I don't know, the stat won't be that far off today either. This was about 15 years ago I first read it. Over 80% of every repossession could be avoided in the UK with an extra £200 a month. Just think about that for a second. Over 80% of every repossession could be avoided if those people were making just another £200 a month. See, for most people, it's not about millions. The fact of the matter is, if you can help somebody turn a couple of £100 into a couple of £100 a month in income, bang, you've solved one of the biggest problems they're ever going to have in their life, losing the roof over their head. So look for homeowners. Perfect. Right? Perfect. Homeowners. Dizzy, do you own your own house? Have you got a mortgage? Listen, I'm helping people pay off their mortgages faster. When can we grab half an hour? Do you think you've got their attention? Do you see that? Aaron, nice car. I like the wheels. When did you get those? Amazing. Did you pay cash or is it on finance? Finance. Listen, perfect. I'm helping people pay off their car finance at lightning speed. Can I grab half an hour and show you how? Next time you go for dinner and somebody pulls out a credit card. Sammy, thanks for grabbing dinner. I'll see you use your credit card. Is there loads of money on it, or is it like in the red all the time? Because guess what? I'm looking for people that have huge credit card bills, so I'm helping them wipe them out real quick. I can help people wipe out their credit cards within 3-4 months. Let's have a sit down and talk about it. If you know people like that, we'll make a fortune together. It's big business, helping people wipe out their credit cards. You can really make it simple like that, right? But we don't do that. Why? Because we're too embarrassed to talk about money. That's all it is. We're too embarrassed to talk about the obvious. But if you could pluck up the courage and be strong enough to have the conversation, as simple as that, then your business will build as simple as that. Find people's pain point, solve the pain. That's it. Become the paracetamol to their headache, right? So I'm done. I'm going to jump in the room now. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's do the unmute function. Oh, there you go. Okay. If you want to share your feedback, your learning, what did you grab from today? What are you going to do about it? What is the next step for you? I just want to, before I go into the sharing as well, quick recap. September. Remember, the end of September. Runner builder bonus comes to an end. 3.5x comes to an end. Maximize. We have got 18 days left, 17 days left. TikTok. 16 if we wipe out today. 16 days. What are you going to do about it? Aaron, what are you going to do about 16 days? You're muted. You have to unmute yourself, bud.
Can you hear me?
You can now. Go ahead.
Awesome, awesome. Again, great presentation as usual. I mean, I always appreciate, and I look forward now to Tuesday. Seriously, I really look forward to Tuesday. I still to make sure that I'm on to get that information, to get that piece of my medication. So what I've learned from
Oh,
this, as usual, I learn something every time, and I just realized that I'm still not consistent. Even though I say I'm going to do stuff, I start doing stuff, but consistency is my problem, and I need to
mm,
get in, continue and get that consistency rolling. So that's what I'm going to work on right now: consistency, and keep it
yeah,
moving. So thank you very much for what you have been doing consistently. I do look forward to
pleasure.
every single Tuesday, and it's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you, Aaron. And do you know what? Thank you, first of all, for admitting that. I'd say the vast majority of people are guilty of lack of consistency, because life does and always will get in the way until you make this a priority, right? So well done for recommitting. And that's how you get consistent, is you admit that you're not consistent, and then you recommit and you start again. And you might have to do it every few days in the beginning. And then that will become every few weeks, maybe, and eventually every few months. And before you know it, you just will be. So thank you. Perfectly captured. Next up is Dizzy, all the way in London. How are we doing, buddy?
Yes, Mr. Kalpesh Patel, you always manage to deliver the perfect subject, the perfect topic every single week. So yeah, thank you for doing it. I love it. And yes, you're right. I am in London. I'm doing a tour. I'm in West London tonight, East London tomorrow, and North London Thursday. So we're on the road. And you know what? I love those lines that you just said. I've forgotten them. They're so simple. Yeah, I'm going to have to just get to work.
I've got the recording on YouTube, so go and grab it.
Yes. Thank you very much, man. And yeah,
Brilliant. I'll see you
the
tomorrow.
time is now. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. Next up is Super Sue. How are we doing?
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much, Kalpesh, for just really reminding us all just to get back to basics, right? Like that three-way conversation is so important. And I think it's great Dr. Vinod's here, because he really takes advantage of those three-way conversations. Like he'll literally message me and say, can you jump on a call with me? And we'll jump on a call, and like it's so great. And then he'll message me and say, like they're in, which is perfect, and it's just somebody who just wants to hear from
Brilliant.
someone who's not him, like that they know somebody, like you said, somebody external to their environment who can share, what their experience is. So it just works. But also as a leader, being available for my team, to support them as well, like as and when they need it. So I think that's so important. So yeah, thank you so much for that reminder. And I think as well, just the other thing that you spoke about is just really helping people in the beginning. Like I spoke to a lady today, and like she's never done crypto before. She's seen me, it's my hairdresser. She's seen me going, there every week. And I know she's never done crypto before. She's not scared or afraid or anything, but I've said to her and reassured her that I'm going to show her how to set up with crypto exchanges, hold her hand and support her, and she's so super cool with it. Love it. Well done. There you go. Speak to your hairdresser next time you're over there. I don't have that opportunity anymore, but Dr. Vinod.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Kalpesh, as usual, superb training. Very good training. In the first training, a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago, you said, do one presentation every day, get 90 people in 90 days. I said, wow, if I do that, I don't have to work for the rest of my life. So I'm trying to do that, but instead of getting 90 in 90 days, I'm getting one or two every third day. So I'm getting that skill, what you are telling me. So that's number one. Number two, you said how to get them debt-free. So I've learned today, how many people have got mortgages? I can pay off your mortgage in 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, earlier. So that's a fantastic thing. And our Zig Ziglar. I've heard Zig Ziglar before. I forgot about it. So I have to get that thing now. Coming back to the point of getting the Director 3, I'm approaching that very fast. I'm just about 5,000-6,000 away. And you know, you said to me that we got only 16 days left for 3x. That's the point I use. I said, look, if you want to do this, don't wait till October, because then you're not going to get 3x. This is the time to get 3x. You get 500 euro free for next 900 days. So join it. So one person came in yesterday like that, because she said, oh, I want to do it, but I'll do it in a couple of weeks. I said, wait, couple of weeks time, the offer is gone. Look, what I did in 10 days, no, for 30 days, I got 10 people lined up now. You can't do that because it's already 16. But you can still get 3 people in next 15 days, and you get 300 euro extra for each of them. So they say, yeah, okay. So she just rang me just now. Sue was very kind and helped me in getting one of the person. And she just now rang another person. Said, can you talk to this person? So now I might get Sue to talk to her as well. So thank you very much. Lovely, lovely presentation. And I'm always learning from you. You're getting as good as Jim Rohn.
Oh, thank you. Wow, look at that. There you go. That's a huge one. And thank you always for demonstrating, taking massive action with what you learn. You are a classic example of the perfect student that becomes the perfect leader by taking the actions. Sharon, how are we doing, hon?
You're right.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks.
Oh, very good. I'm glad that I jumped on. I've had as you know, a funeral over the weekend, and it's really, really knocked the blinking stuffing out of me. It really, really has. And it's kind of made me a bit like, oh. So I need to find my fire in my belly again and just get on with it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, losing loved ones is never going to be easy for anybody. So, and everyone's got to handle that part of human life the way that we handle it, right? But, you know, what I will say from experience, and, you know, it's something that I've learned the hard way as well. When you're idle and you don't do anything and you're dealing with it, it gets worse. It grabs a hold of you. So it's important to experience it and go through it, but also make sure that you're constantly moving. Not just this, anything, but you got to keep moving. You've got to keep moving your life forward. Otherwise you get consumed by that one experience, right? So yeah, take your time out, do what you need to do, but at some point, as soon as you can, as they say, get back in the saddle of life and start trotting forward again. Don't start living in that moment.
No, absolutely not. And it was a beautiful send-off. And yeah, I've want to give myself a shake now, because I'm thinking October, you know, October is around the corner. And I'm thinking I'm thinking of Dr. Vinod. I'm thinking we need to get to the next one. And these days I'm wasting are going to be more pressure on me. Come on, guys. I can see it in your faces. We're all sat here going, oh, we've got all month. I'm telling you guys, don't leave it till the end of the month, because it's a killer. It's a killer.
Absolutely.
I am a voice of experience, because last month nearly wiped me out. So that's it. Tonight, tomorrow, the day I'm doing a launch call tonight at 12:30 tonight. Tomorrow, I'm back in the saddle. That's it. I'm going to get on with it. Got to get on with it, haven't I?
Yeah.
And these 3 ways, I think people don't take advantage of the 3 ways enough, Kalpesh. I really don't. Sure. You know, when I've got some good leaders, I need Mr. Kalpesh Patel at my side. I don't do it on my own.
Isn't it? But it plays so many different roles. Like you said, by my side, it's having that kind of visual, knowing that when somebody sees you and somebody, they see that this really is teamwork. They see the support. They visually experience the support. That's right. It makes so much of a difference. So absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Kalpesh. Thanks for this.
Oh, thank you, Han. Thank you. And get that healing work done as well, of course. Much love. John, how you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Hey, awesome.
Good. Great presentation. I love these nuts and bolts, because you pick up so many little nuggets along the way. And Sunday, I went back onto one of your recordings and I rang this guy. I've been trying to get into the business for a while. He says, yeah, I think I'm ready. I says, no. You don't think, you are ready. There's not, you just got to get in. He says, oh, well, send me a link. So I sent him a link. And this morning he rang me. And I went, oh. So I picked the phone. Hi, chit chat. He said, I've done everything, but I can't get verified. I said, just go outside where it's nice and clear, take a couple of pictures, do your passport, your driving license, and a selfie, and it'll come up a little red X, but you'll get verified within about 24, 48 hours. And then, let's talk about the funding. So I picked that up from you. So thank you for that.
Brilliant.
So it just works, it's all the little bits you get, but like when Sharon was on there and she said she'd lost her brother-in-law, I can sympathize and relate to that because I lost my parents within 3-4 weeks of each other. And it just throws you off the wall. I just started a new business. The business had been going about a couple of years. And then you think, come on, you've got to get back in the saddle, like you say, because my brother said to me, forget everything, jump back on the horse and keep riding. And it's true what you say. It's hard. It's very, very hard. And it's, what we're going through this week with the monarchy and everything, it's really, I can sympathize with that. But you've just got to focus. You've got to put your family in place. You've got to put everything else in place. And I just love what you're saying and what you're doing. Just pick little bits, little sections. It's like building blocks. I call it building blocks. Ding, 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 ding. And then you've got everything there and you just apply that. Some fall over, pick them up again and just keep applying and applying. So the guy got in today. He's in networking. He knows what networking is all about. So he said he's got a team, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And yeah. So thank you very much. I love your presentation. Love it. And thanks everybody for being on here.
Beautiful. Thank you, John. Lovely,
all the best.
Heartfelt and very, very beautifully shared. Thank you.
Yeah. All the best, George. Bye.
Thank you. George from sunny Australia, not so sunny Australia this time of the night, but sunny Australia. How are we doing?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's 4:45 here, so it's not too sunny yet. But had the staples removed from my stitches holding my leg together yesterday, so that's all good.
That was quick.
And that's 2 weeks since the operation, but I've got another 4 weeks of horror. That's all good. But yeah, it's really cool of the things, the reason why, and again, for me, all my other businesses have been wiped out because I can't do them, and so my network businesses are building. And then I got a text message from this guy during the week, and he says, "I've got 1,000." So I sent back, 1,000 what and why? He goes, $1,000, and I need to put it into that 10% thing you've been telling me about. I go, cool, let's get started. But loving the thing, and like from the system, the fact that you get your straight 5% of people that you introduce personally, and that immediate cash flow, like, man, how good is that for actually turning results and having an absolute ball? So again, thank you very much for being a light in my life, my friend. I do appreciate your input. And yeah, as I said, I've got 4 weeks horizontal, but I can still work from bed, so that's cool.
Love it. Listen, I can promise you this, there are people that are vertical and not doing half of what you're doing horizontal. So congratulations. I love it. And you are such an inspiration, man. Just keep it up. And again, ladies and gents, classic example, 5:30 in the morning. And he could have easily just kept the duvet over the head and said, you know what, I'll give it a skip. He never does. George is just, a classic example of discipline. All right. So we'll talk about that on one of the sessions as well. But discipline's a big one. If you can build it into your life, then magic happens. Thank you so much, George, for the heat that you bring. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. As always, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor sharing the time with you and spending this, what I call gelling time together. And go out there and just make it happen, right? Whatever that is for you, each and every one of us has a different make it happen going on. Whatever you're making it happen is, go make that happen. And let's catch up again here next week and share your story, your results, your journey. And in the meantime, don't forget, we've got now 6 nights a week, thanks to Sammy, 6 nights a week of presentation, bar Tuesday, which is training, but 7 p.m. Monday to Saturday is the opportunity now. So just make sure that you remember that always, that you can invite people on pretty much any night of the week, but also showing up so that you're supporting the speaker, you're supporting the rest of the team, and you're building that daily discipline into your life to help you keep the conversation alive in here. That's all. It is a mental game, as we say. So much love. Thank you. Mwah. See you soon.